What's up, everybody? This is the Huddle Up podcast presented by Cooper Paint, Striping, and Sealing, the Jeremy Hodge Auto Group, and Magnolia Landscape and Design. I'm your host, Drew England. Of course, I got my co-host, number 13 on the field, number 1 in your hearts, the man, the myth, the legend, David Glidden. What's up, DG?
What's up, brother? That's a new one. You just hit me with a new one there, man. I see you.
Hey, I got a new one. I mean, I'm all creative, but hey, we got a special guest. He dissed us last week to go to the beach, but now he's back. So, it's all good. But our special guest, Chris Phillips from SEC Unfiltered. We're here week 1 officially. We had a little bit of games, this last weekend, but this is the kickoff to college football. A lot of most SEC teams are playing this weekend. We're ready to go. Chris, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, guys, appreciate you having me. Yeah, I have this really bad habit of overbooking myself for things. So I do apologize about last week, and I appreciate y'all still allowing me to grace the airwaves. But, man, you said it. Talk dirty to me. Week 1 is finally here. We can put all the nonsense that's happening off the field behind us. And I said it on our show today, I really don't even give a damn who's suiting up anymore. Just get me to Saturday, hand me a roster, and we'll cover the guys, and we'll talk about the guys that take the field. I really don't even care anymore. We'll let Lane Kiffin and LSU and everybody else deal with the courts and whatever the heck's going on with Greg Sankey, and if they're going to get kicked out of the league or whatever's happening. But no, just really excited, man. Super, super stoked. It's I like to say that each and every single season, our best is yet to come, and it certainly feels that way yet again. I think we're in for a great SEC football season too, man. It's going to be an awesome ride.
Absolutely. Glid, I know you're excited too. What do you guys? I'll kick it to one of y'all. But what are you most excited about? I know SEC. We're going to kind of be talk heavy tonight, but as a whole, I know we got a few games, a little taste stuff at this last weekend. But man, we're rolling out the carpet this week with a few really good games. But what are you most excited for just this season? Obviously, I think just getting on the field and playing football. Enough with all this news, like you said. So
yeah.
I mean, I think that next tier in the SEC is what's most exciting to me. I mean, I think the entire offseason has been the conversation around Georgia and Texas and who else, and we're even giving Texas a little bit of benefit of the doubt there. I know, obviously, you guys would probably have some push, but that's been the conversation. It feels like Georgia and Texas are in their own tier. And then there's this group, and I think you saw this reflected in the coaches poll and the AP's poll, where you have this group of Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Alabama, Texas A&M, maybe it's LSU as well. But that next batch of SEC teams, who rises to the occasion? I mean, the only team I would say I feel surefire good about is Georgia, right? I mean, I even put out a bet, Georgia minus 290 to make the college football playoff. And you might say, where's the value in that? Well, if I told you if you give me $290 right now and tomorrow I'll give you $390, you would do it because it's a free $100. That's how I feel about Georgia when it comes to will they make the playoff, yes or no. But, even Texas has questions with all the pieces they added, and Arch Manning returns, but, Will Muschamp on defense, but will they live up to the hype, right? Like we've seen this movie with Texas before, and the ship has sunk most years. Oklahoma really excites me with John Mateer and company. I think it should be the best offensive line of the Brent Venables era. You could argue the best defense in the SEC, maybe the best in college football. They are the team whose name I think continues to pop up as regards to could be in Atlanta, that outside of the Georgia and Texas pick that most people have. A&M, Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU. Like I said, there are so many teams that there's reasons you could talk yourself into them. There's reasons you could talk yourself out of them. And we're going to see teams rise to the occasion, and we're going to see teams falter short. And it's going to be a lot of fun as we navigate this thing and try to see if the SEC can get back on top. Another big storyline, of course.
I think that's the big question. Yep.
Yeah.
I think even Glid, you mentioned to it a couple weeks ago about the Big Ten and their run at national championships. And you even brought up a good point. And I'm like, damn, you're right. Like, it's been however many years since the SEC's actually won a national championship. And so maybe that's the biggest question. I know we're singling out teams, but can one team rise up and finally, knock off the Big Ten?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no doubt, man. And Drew, if we do rewind to that episode, man, I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't. Yeah. And I feel like you thought I was taking a shot at the SEC and at the.
But no, it was kind of an awakening. Yeah,
But it's the truth, right? You just said it, man. It's the truth. I do think that's going to happen this season. I really do. I do think it's the Big Ten run is going to end. At least I hope so. I'm kind of sick of hearing about it, to be honest with you, regardless of what stance I'm coming from. Because the conferences are the size of the conferences now, in my opinion, with how many teams are in them, that like the bragging rights, that whole thing back in the day when there was 10 or 12 teams, to me, it's kind of gone to shit, if you will.
Yep.
Like when you're having 16 teams per conference. Anyway, so to your point, I like it's going to be an exciting season. The SEC is loaded, absolutely loaded. And Chris said this before we went on the show, man, like to actually be able to sit down and watch college football again in general or whatever it's going to be, a full day, a full slate, just let it rip. I'm fired up about it. You cannot beat that. And to top it all off, right, in Death Valley, to start the weekend off right, or I guess you would say finish the weekend off right, even though there's a full slate of games through Monday or whatever it is. But man, fired up to just sit my ass down and watch some ball all day long again. Got a little taste of this last weekend, but with the SEC being loaded, it is going to be a blast. And those teams y'all just mentioned, man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see what transpires in that league.
Here's another question, and you mentioned that game. Is a lot of people now turning their focus and rooting against Dabo Swinney and rooting for Dabo Swinney and Clemson now because the evil empire of LSU and Lane Kiffin? That's going to be an interesting game. I don't know. Obviously, as an SEC fan, as myself, as more of an Oklahoma fan, I'm not really a conference fan. And I know, Glad, you're an Oklahoma State grad, so you don't really. You're like, hey, I just want to see good football out of the SEC. So. But it's one of those things where you may find yourself, rooting for Dabo Swinney, and I know it's kind of the lesser of two evils, if you will, in that game. What do you guys think of that one?
Yeah, I don't think I can bring myself to that point. If you guys know anything about my history, I was born and raised in the Palmetto State and was on the Garnet and Black side of it. So I'm pretty neutral these days when it comes to fandom, admittedly, but there's certainly no love lost for me for Clemson and their fan base. So I hope LSU wins by 100. As much as LSU folks, it's funny. I have this weird relationship with LSU and Ole Miss folks, which means I've done a really, really good job of playing the middle because I've got some Ole Miss folks. They think I'm an LSU homer. There's LSU folks that I'll comment something on LSU and they'll say, y'all just can't keep us out of your mouth, meaning y'all like Ole Miss fans. So they think I'm an Ole Miss fan. So I've done a really good job of really kind of playing both sides of it and being in the middle of it. But yeah, I have no love for the Clemson Tigers. But to your point, I think everybody in the SEC who's not an LSU fan is pulling for Clemson. I think after the offseason we've had and this latest run of, right, wrong, or indifferent, whatever argument we want to make for or against, the whole NFL players coming back to college, I think all the other fan bases in the SEC. And I get it. I think everybody just wants to see Lane Kiffin and LSU get humbled. And Lane Kiffin is a really hateable figure. He's an easily hateable coach. So,
That's
but
so true,
I look at it this way, guys. I even looked at it this way when I was covering one team. Win or lose, there's going to be content, and we're going to talk about it. I got to be honest, I don't know what would draw more views if they win by 50 or lose by 50. But, I cannot bring myself to pull for Dabo and Clemson. But here's the reality, guys. There's when you predict games and you look at games, like you try to imagine scenarios and draw these pictures in your head of like what could happen. There's just not – I cannot envision Clemson walking out of Death Valley, Baton Rouge – with a W. I just can't. I cannot envision it.
I would think a little different if it was maybe a day game, but it being the night, yeah, it's really hard.
I hate, Drew. I hate putting so much stock. I mean, listen, home atmospheres are pivotal, mean everything in college football. But I was there last year, and it's a one-game sample size. LSU's track record at home at night speaks for itself. But dude, I was in there last year when Marcel Reed went crazy, and we left the stadium early, including myself. I had never left a game in my travels early, but the way that place emptied out early in the fourth quarter and my friends were back at the tailgate, even I wanted to go back and drink some bourbon and eat some food and do whatever. So, it's one of those things. If Clemson's going to have any recipe for an upset, if they can strike early and take the crowd out of it to some degree, that'll help. But I think there's so many things that would have to go right for Clemson. I just don't see it. So and you mentioned the home atmosphere at night. That place is going to be an absolute zoo for Kiffin's debut.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be nuts. I couldn't agree with you anymore. It's just hard to picture that. It's hard to see.
And why would you buy any stock in Dabo Swinney? I mean, like, what have they shown you the last couple of years? What have they shown you to make you believe they can go in and win a game like this?
Yeah,
I'm with you.
And they're going to go in there with a
1000%.
brand new quarterback and do it? Come on.
No, I couldn't agree anymore.
Would Chad Morris call them plays? He was a great OC in 2012. I mean, what are we doing?
Well, we're gonna have to bookmark this if they run out with the W.
I will happily eat crow, and I'll probably have a lot of folks in my mentions that I haven't seen in a couple of years, and we'll have a grand old time with it. But I
love it.
It was like the time when I was trying to chase him down because he was talking noise with my Sooners in Omaha, and you know he did, but it was okay. I was pleasantly surprised at our run in Omaha for Oklahoma, and so it's one of those deals where it was
it was pretty
Drew,
that was the point that I tried to make was nobody in their right mind saw that coming. I don't care how much of a Oklahoma homer you are.
Yeah,
nobody thought that Sooners team was going to do that.
True.
That was still like
I started to
college
believe
baseball comes and goes, and like once the World Series ends, we kind of close the chapter, and we, at least for us, we charge the batteries. We get to July 4th and on the football. We probably did not spend enough time sort of just unpacking and processing what Oklahoma baseball did, and it's one of the reasons why college baseball is I still say I'm a baseball guy. It's the best sport in the world. You talk about parity. That Oklahoma team, the way they finished the season, I know we're talking football, but the way they finished the season and then being down and out in that Atlanta regional, going from that to winning it all, I still cannot. I remember I kept tweeting it day after day, and Oklahoma fans get mad at me. And it's like, I'm not saying it as an insult. I genuinely cannot believe this, what we are watching. I still have a hard time like, that happened. That actually happened.
Well, I have a lot of Razorback friends who are diehard baseball fans, and they're like, Drew, how in the world did y'all get one before we did? And we've been doing this. I said, dude, your guess is as good as mine. But I said, after we beat Georgia that first time, I said, man, I think we got an opportunity. But it wasn't till then that first game against Georgia where I really started to think, holy cow, we could really do something special. But that's. I had to throw that one in there because I know we were a little back and forth on the Twitter a little bit, which was fun. But switching gears back to baseball or back to football.
I've almost won Sooner fans back over with my football takes. Almost, not all the way.
Yeah, you're close.
I didn't have them in the playoff, which really irked them. But I think Oklahoma knocking on the door. I had them at 9-3. You could easily. I got them beating Texas. I mean, that's something.
Hey, I'll take it.
What's the three losses?
Last couple of years. Yeah.
My bold prediction for that game was Oklahoma not only beats Texas, they do it scoring all touchdowns after 2 years of getting.
Yeah, we haven't found the end zone in a while down there in Dallas.
Hold up, now you said 9-3. That's your prediction.
Yeah, right now I've got 9-3, and essentially that Ole Miss Oklahoma game serving as like. The team that wins that one is in the playoff, and I've got Ole Miss winning that game right now.
So who's the other two?
Well, he's an Ole Miss fan. He said it earlier. Remember?
Right. Yeah, Ole Miss fan. No, so the four I have in the playoff: Georgia, Texas, Alabama is my third one, 10-2, and then Ole Miss sneaking in there at 9-3. But I mean, I have Ole Miss 9-3, Oklahoma 9-3, and I have Florida at 9-3. So I've got 3 9-3 teams, and I think one of them gets in. So that was, I sat down, guys. I do this every preseason. I sat down with the helmet schedule. I went through game by game, and from there, based off who beat who, tried to make the most sense. Okay, who would be the selection for the college football playoff? And it came down to Ole Miss. So but again, if you asked me today, who is the team that is going to challenge, right, wrong, or indifferent, fair, unfair. Georgia, Texas is in that top tier. I do think it's Oklahoma. I mean, I like John Mateer a lot. I think he has taken, his decision-making's got to improve. But I don't think we factor in the thumb injury enough. I mean, go out and try to throw a football with a bum thumb. It's not – try to throw a baseball. Try to throw anything. I don't think we factor that in enough. Obviously, what he can do with his legs speaks for itself. He's got playmakers around him. The running game should be better. That's the key to the season. The offensive line should be much better. That's the key to the season. But when you have a defense like that on a week, if they just get this much better on offense, they're going to go back to the college football playoff. So
yeah, they will. I think they will. Here's what I was asking though. So you have them at 9-3. You have them beating Texas, a loss to Ole Miss. So who are the other two losses for Oklahoma? Is my question.
So the other two losses for Oklahoma, I actually have them. So funny enough, this is where I lost Oklahoma fans. Because looking back at this, I'm like, we're about to piss people. We're about to piss people off all over again. Because I have Oklahoma getting off to an 8-0 start, and then losing 3 of the last 4. So I've got them losing to Florida, Ole Miss, and then the kicker is the Missouri game. You got to think outside of the box, guys. Upsets are going to happen. I mean, it's going to. But see, I've got them beating Georgia. I think Oklahoma is the one team that can line up and punch Georgia in the face in the trenches. So I got them winning in Athens, but beating Texas and then going 9-3.
What a take! There we go. See, I'm not really
maybe some.
Well, you're probably. Look at he's got a smile on his face. Like, if Missouri beats Oklahoma, that's all.
I mean, listen, when you're like I said, when you're looking at it, you cannot look at it as, well, they're going to win all the ones they're supposed to, and they're going to lose the ones they're supposed to, and there wouldn't even be a point making predictions at that point. You got to think a little outside the box here. I'm not saying the Missouri pick isn't a hot take. I am not saying that at all. It's more likely they go 10-2, and we have 5 SEC teams in the college football playoff than anything. But that's where I landed. So
I love it.
Maybe by then, Mizzou, listen, in Como, they got that new North End Zone project. Tough place to play.
Hey, we don't have Jackson Arnold fumbling the football, so we might have a chance, So
fair enough. Yeah.
Jeez.
Hey,
God, speaking of Jackson Arnold, speaking of Dari, I got under Dari's skin a little bit because I was giving Jackson Arnold some love on the timeline. Boy, Oklahoma fans did not like that. Yeah. Nor did Auburn fans. It's fun when you can piss off multiple fan bases in one post.
Yeah, that is really one comment. Yeah, I love it.
That's how the predictions went too. Every time I drop a prediction graphic, it was like I would piss so many fan bases off at once because not only the fan base of whose predictions they are, but the teams that they are beating, that specifically that they're beating, those fan bases would come in and be like, no way. Like this is, like Georgia, I picked them to go 11-1 and lose to Oklahoma. And you'd have thought I picked them to go 7-5. So, I mean, it's, it is what it is. It's just like, how dare you not pick us to go undefeated?
Hey, I know with your power rankings today, which were good. I saw those come out. You have Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Alabama, A&M, LSU, Florida, Tennessee, Auburn, Missouri, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Arkansas. So, I can't argue with you there. I may have a little, obviously with maybe Texas a little bit, but
I wanted to ask y'all that really quickly about Texas. I know it's y'all's show. Y'all are asking the questions, but I'm curious, y'all as Oklahoma dudes, like, are y'all just used to it by now? The Texas hype and because I will hear out the people that say Texas is overhyped. Two things can be true at once. They are immensely talented, and they have every right to have a national title or bust mentality. I think that's fair.
No, I do. I think you're not far off with that. I think, and even DG, you've played against them in the Big 12 for however long you were at Oklahoma State and all that stuff, and you've probably heard it from a player's perspective side of everything. But here's the thing, like you just said, it's never been a question of talent. It's never been a question of that. It's been a question of this sense of entitlement that I think Texas fans have over everybody else that it's just like, hey, we're Texas. We've got this Longhorn, and we're going to show up, and we just expect to have that hype. And a year after year, it's like, okay, well, what have you done besides preseason number one or whatever it is? And it's other than, I heard a stat the other day, okay, they won, with Vince Young in 05, right, for the national championship. When was the last time they won a national championship before that? 1970.
I was going to say it was like 30 years before that or something, because I just watched the Vince Young documentary on Netflix recently. So
1970, guys. Like, I don't know where your blue blood kind of mentality is coming from. Like, and you're probably saying, "Oh, well, Drew, you're a homer, you're an OU fan," but that's a pretty strong case of, you've won how many Heisman trophies, you've won, how many national championships, and you're saying somehow you're above, other teams like even USC, if you want to talk about it. And I hate talking about Lincoln Riley, but they have more of a leg to stand on as far as tradition than Texas does.
Yeah, Chris, I would say this, and to back up Drew here, like, to answer your question specifically, yeah, for sure. Very used to the hype. That's the norm, right? Are we used to them being hyped up and no matter what, they just finished with the season prior. New head coach with success there, players returning. The hype is always there for them. And so it's to me, being a guy living in the state of Oklahoma, you kind of like in one ear, out the other for real. Like, so like just kind of used to it. And back in the day, like, they've had their ever since 05, when Vince Young just takes over the national championship. Huge lull, right? Huge lull, like the 2010s into present day now, like where we're at, really from 2005 to this point is just you never know what you're going to get any single Saturday. It's one of the most inconsistent teams that I've watched play football. And so with this season, there's a ton of hype. There's a ton of talent. Sark is a proven coach, that's for sure. But, it comes down to two things. Can Arch perform, and will they stay healthy? I don't like those are the biggest things. Like, is he going to make plays when they count? And are there the rest of their top tier talented dudes mainly up front? And obviously they got Coleman at wideout, and they're going to have other skilled players. But like, do they stay healthy? And does Arch perform when they need him to? Okay, then maybe they have a real chance. But if not, if Arch is subpar, then we're looking at another subpar Texas season, in my opinion. So
I just like it because I think y'all have a different perspective on it than most that I talk to who are, again, who can challenge Georgia and Texas. That's the mentality. Like, they throw Texas in that.
Yep.
Whereas I'm sure from the Oklahoma side, there's a lot more. And again, like you said, Drew, some people will call it homerism, but I think it's almost like you've seen the movie before. There's probably a lot more skepticism where it's, again, I even throw myself in this where it's like, it's so easy to just like, oh yeah, Texas being in Atlanta. It's just a foregone conclusion. Look at all the talent. They're going to be there. Them being in a playoff, foregone conclusion, so y'all have a little different perspective, I think, maybe to it. Because I have not seen a prediction. Maybe y'all have. I have not seen one that does not have Texas in the college football. I haven't seen a single one. So,
that's a good call. That's a good call.
An ultimate hot take. If you picked Texas to go 9-3 or worse, it'd be the ultimate hot take. But is it that crazy?
I don't think
so. And I will say this, as an Oklahoma fan, I'm not ready to put us into the playoffs just yet, too. I'm one of those guys, and whether it be a former high school football coach or whatever it is in my mind, is I'm one of those that I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing. And so every year, especially here in the state and hearing all of our local radio and hearing everybody that's, hey, Oklahoma is that's great. I'm excited, but I'm not getting over my skis right now about it. I know we have a potential to have a really good team, really good defense. And like you said earlier, Chris, can John Mateer, the same way you said about Arch, David, can he be the playmaker? Can he stay healthy? Can he make the right reads? And if he does, we're that much better on offense, and I think we have a chance. But for me to go out and make a prediction and say, hey, I think we're going to go 10-2, and I'm one of those guys that's like, hey, I'm excited about Friday night against UTEP, and then Michigan at the Big House, and then taking it, one of those things at a time. So I'm like, man, it's hard for me to get excited, or it's really easy for me to get excited, and I am. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I'm just one of those guys that's, still a little skeptical because I did see that Alabama game at home where we gave up a 17-0 lead and it evaporated and they came and smacked our ass and, we got sent home. And so that's one of the things that I'm not ready to, get on the hype train as much as some Oklahoma fans are.
And that's why I'm so excited again, guys. It's week 1 because even watching week 0, it's just we're going to finally start to get some answers to the questions that we have. That's what I'm excited about. I mean, you get to this point or you get 2-3 weeks before kick and you start kind of having the same conversations over and over and over again, just inevitably, right? Some of the same talking points. We're going to finally start to get some answers to our questions. And what's so fun too is, and this is the SEC, but if we get really fortunate, 5 SEC teams, I think, are in the playoff. I think 4 is probably the right number, but let's just say 5. Well, there's 7 or 8 fan bases that believe they should be in the college football playoff. That is their yearly expectation. Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, A&M, Ole Miss, Alabama. Heck, I think you could throw LSU in there. Tennessee fans feel like they should be one of the 12. So it's just, teams are going to separate. The beauty of the
SEC is every team, with the exception of, maybe Arkansas. And here's a team that I'm really interested to see early is Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I know because, new coach, young guy coming from Oregon, a lot of offensive philosophy, everything like that. He's going to throw it around the yard. I'm interested to see what they bring. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win, 8, 9, 10 games, but they could have an uptick. They're playing Youngstown State. That's a good week 1. See how many points you can kind of score here and see what they're about too. And interesting, you brought up Alabama earlier, and that's one of the teams that I think you're one of the only people that I think is really sold on what Alabama's doing this year. And for me, I'm ready to see what they look like. I'm ready to see what a new quarterback is and how they operate. And, coming off obviously the loss to Indiana and everything like that, it's almost you're breaking in a coach, but then at the same time, now you're breaking in a new quarterback. And, that's one of the teams that I'm excited to see and how they look with a new quarterback as well too.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And if I can, I wanted to ask this earlier because we've had obviously a lot of talk about coaching, right? Talked about Dabo, obviously not in the SEC, but obviously the whole Lane situation. I've never seen a head coach or any coach in my life probably get more media time than he's had in the last year, right? So whatever. So excluding him, and I'm going to exclude Pete and Hottie Toddyville. So there should be 4 other new SEC coaches, right? Chris, who do you have of those 4 that you think will be the most successful in year 1? Now, I'm not saying it's going to be 8 wins like Drew just said. Not saying it's 9, but of those 4, who will have the best record? Who's going to have the most success? And you can maybe say overall best record / SEC best record. I'd love to hear your take on that.
Yeah, and David, I think you make a really important disclaimer that success isn't just about wins and losses, and success when it comes to wins and losses, it depends on where you are, right? For example, Ryan Silverfield winning 6 games at Arkansas would be more impressive, I'd argue, than Alex Golesh winning 7 at Auburn in year 1, for example. The one for me, though, that I just continue to come back to, and guys, I have tried to talk myself out of them over and over and over and over and over again because I just feel like I'm setting myself up again, but John Sumrall at Florida.
Yep.
That is the one that, and it's, we're in the honeymoon phase. I was talking about this with somebody earlier today. I always think it's really funny when you're in the honeymoon phase. We've all been through it, right? With a first time head coach, first year head coach. Everything they say is every joke lands, every quip is funny. Look at his character. He's such a great fit. You know what I mean? It's just they can do no wrong.
Such a good point.
And then the games start to happen, and John Sumrall joking about throwing a podium if they have a losing record going into year 3 won't land the same as it did this summer. But I do like John Sumrall. I think he's going to bring a level of discipline and organization that they've desperately needed over the last couple of years. And here, Florida's a lot like Texas in a degree. Now, hear me out. From the standpoint of even when they are bad, you look at their roster and you're like, they're still loaded with talent. Like, guys just still want to go there. You know, that logo is still the Gator. It's still the Florida Gators. And so, like, I love the roster more than anything. Now, we got to see what Aaron Philo is going to be. I totally get that. But, I mean, God, is there a new quarterback in a better situation than him? Jaden Ball at running back. I think the offensive line, at least in the interior, should be really good. I know they got some questions at tackle. Dallas Wilson, Vernell Brown, Eric Singleton, Micah Mays on the outside, loaded at receiver. And then, you know, I think they've got some questions to answer defensively at the pass rush spots. Their linebacker room is one of the best in the conference, I think. And, you know, the secondary is somewhat of a work in progress, but I like Brad White, their new DC. I think it's Trotwine, the new offensive line coach who played at Florida. I think he's going to make an immediate impact. So I've got Florida winning 9 games, guys, and knocking on the door of the playoff. And like I said, I have tried so hard to talk myself out of them because I feel like I do this every single year, but I just really like the roster. Like I really like the roster.
You mentioned they got an absolute workhorse at running back too.
Dude, they might give it to him 45 times a game. I mean, not even joking.
Why not?
Chris, I'm with you. The more I listen to, and I like to listen to a lot of coaching for the same reasons you said earlier. Hey, what's their demeanor like? But every time I listen to him, and I got to listen to him a couple years ago at a clinic when he was still down at Tulane and everything like that. And every time I hear that guy speak or talk or anything, man, I want to go out there and play. Like it's one of those things where I could be completely wrong too, but it seems like Florida, and we've said this, I think, a few times about it, but I think they finally have made a good hire, you know, and I think, you know, I wasn't really as crazy about Billy Napier and all that. And I was kind of like, where's this coming from, you know, but I think that the Summerall hire was great. And I think you're already starting to see ripples from what he's already put in place from just a program standpoint, not even, you know, on the field yet. But, you know, the stuff.
Yeah, John Summerall, Drew, not to cut you off. I feel like he is every football guy's like wet dream. Like they just like, you know, like they just, you could, if you're a football guy like that, man, oh my God, you can just listen. You can listen to John Summerall all that he's got like that. And I say this with all love and respect, to everybody out there. He's just got like that hardo mentality. Like he's such a football hardo. But you love it. That's what you want, you know. So
for sure.
I think he's a great
he reminds me
of Florida from that like unhinged perspective.
I've been watching a lot of Hard Knocks with the Seattle Seahawks, and he reminds me so much of Mike McDaniel at Seattle. Like those guys are just like almost one and the same, just about how they, you know, have that presence of, hey, I didn't really come from you know, a huge background of coach, but I've worked my ass off everywhere I've been, and I've kind of helped, you know, kind of carve my own path, if you will. And so that's one of the things I really like about him is that he's just got in there and busted his ass and worked everywhere he's been.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to see how it plays out. But like I said, I feel like I'm drinking too much Kool-Aid, but we'll see. They're my surprise team.
No pun intended there with the Kool-Aid, huh? Just Gatorade, Kool-Aid, all the same thing.
Drinking too much of the Gatorade, indeed.
There you go.
Too much.
Right.
I will, Drew, back to what you said there really quick. I will tell you, and I'd agree with you. I'm not picking to win 8 or 9 either, but dude, Kentucky's fascinating. Like,
yep, they are.
And that's the thing too. Like that's the exciting part about a new season is, I mean, is there a chance, I guess, that every team at the bottom or projected bottom, Kentucky, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Arkansas, I guess throw Vandy in there. Is there a chance they all suck? Sure, but more than likely, one of them's gonna pop unexpectedly.
I was gonna ask you, based on those teams, based on those teams that are quote on the hot seat, especially, you know, we already talked about like a guy like Shane Beamer, and even, you know, some people have said Jeff Lebby a little bit, and then Josh Heupel at Tennessee breaking in a true freshman quarterback coming in. That's going to be a tough task. Which one of those guys do you think is going to be able to get off the mat before the other guys do?
So I would not throw Tennessee in that category.
Okay.
The thing I'll hang my hat on is earlier in the summer, Tennessee for me, I proclaimed it was my most underrated team. I think they're going to win 8 games. And I mean, that's Tennessee fans scoff at that. But I mean, if you listen to a lot of people or you look at kind of the energy around the program earlier this summer, it seemed like to me most people were calling for the downfall of Tennessee, winning 6 games, whatever it might be. I think they're an 8-4 team. I think could even get to 9-3. I think Faison Brandon, he's going to have his up and downs, but similar to Aaron Philo, great situation. The run game with Deshaun Bishop, 1,000-yard rusher. Offensive line, I think, is one of the best in the conference. I think Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley are both guys who are ready to pop at receiver. Questions on defense, but I trust Jim Knowles. Arion Carter is back, obviously. They've got to find some answers at pass rush, but there's a reason Jim Knowles was brought in, and I think the defense won't be quite the Achilles heel it was a season ago. Of the teams in that bottom tier, though, the one that I have picked to have a losing record that like that, I would be the first one I would flip their record from 4-8 to 8-4 is Mississippi State. That is the one that I think has that potential. I mean, when you have a game breaker like Kamario Taylor at quarterback, that's where it starts for me. And you've got Fluff Bothwell at running back, and you've got Anthony Evans at receiver, and you've got Zach Arnett back in the fold at DC. Yeah. The recipe is there. And I mean, let's think about it too. As bad as Mississippi State was a season ago, they should have beaten Texas. I mean, had them on the ropes and let them off. They had Tennessee on the ropes, could have won that game. They had Florida on the ropes. Can you imagine if we're talking about a Mississippi State team that went 8-4 last year with wins over Texas, Tennessee, and Florida? I mean, we're talking about them as a playoff sleeper. So they are the one. I picked them to go 4-8. If anyone was going to flip their record, or if they're going to get to a winning record, if there's any of them, I would go Mississippi State. I don't trust South Carolina and Shane Beamer. I'm out on Shane Beamer after the A&M game.
It's sad because it feels like almost like a Mike Trout type thing where you're wasting talent like Lenore Sellers and everything like that. And so for me, good for him that he stuck it out and stayed there. And I'm probably pretty sure he's had a chance to go somewhere else. But yeah, that's Drew, a tough situation.
On that note, Drew, I was going to ask you this question. I'll ask both you guys. Let's say they have a bad year and the offensive line still can't protect him, and he puts up good numbers, but so-so numbers. I'm pretty sure he has another year of eligibility. Is there and let's say Beamer gets fired, is there a chance that he, instead of going to the NFL draft, transfers somewhere for his final year?
Yeah.
It could be like a Dylan Gabriel situation. Absolutely. Dude, he has the upside to be like the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, but you got to put up some numbers. You got to be somewhere you can put up numbers. If he was the starting quarterback at Miami, he'd probably be a top 5 draft pick this year.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, and just because of the day and age of what college football is, I would say this is a no-brainer. Yes, look what the rookie quarterbacks are going to make
like a
this year in the
$3-4
NFL.
million quarterback.
Exactly.
I mean, he'd at least be
What a rookie quarterback's going to make in the NFL this year, right? And then what are they going to make? So why not? Why not? Yeah. And then go solidify yourself as the guy, a chance to do that, especially if he's not going to be a top 5 pick.
Kentucky, but Kentucky's the ultimate wild card. Dude, I have no clue what to expect from them, which is why, again, it's just so easy to – I mean, somebody's got to go 4-8. Somebody's got to go 5-7. Like, somebody has to lose football games, right? Like, I've tried to tell – which, funny enough, I mean, this really makes Oklahoma people mad because that team that I have beating them in the last game, I have Mizzou going 5-7 with one of their 5 wins over OU. Make that make sense. But Mizzou fans have been really upset. And I'm like, dude, somebody has – like, not everybody's going to go 8-4. Like, somebody has to lose these games.
You're crushing Drew's soul with that.
I know. That is
the hardest thing was he said, your guys are going to go 8-0, and then you're going to lose 4 out of the last 5. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like,
no, that's like
3 of the
Drew's
last
going to
4.
sleep thinking
I'm like, shit,
tonight.
here we go. I'm going to have him in the back of my head. I'm like, shit, we're 7-0. Now we're 8-0. I'm like,
it's going to be a lot like Oklahoma baseball was. You just got to hope that the Sooners sneak into the playoff and then catch fire like they did in the postseason. So,
yeah. The difference is the sport, right? In college baseball is
indeed, yes.
It's one of the like
sport
hot
is a
streak
lot
sports
different.
in all of sports.
We have seen some pretty funny things in college football. Now, I don't know if this could happen this week based on, the slate of games that we're talking. non-ranked versus ranked teams, stuff like that. But looking at the slate of games on tap for this week, is there any chance any team out there can sneak up on somebody and make it close or get an upset win?
Well, I mean, Drew, I'm glad you asked. Because on that note, man, I'm all over UTEP. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm not going to do that to you. Yeah, give me the Miners and the points in that one on Friday night. Yeah, no,
you're gonna be a rich man.
No. Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a real chance the SEC goes 16-0. I mean, that's.
Any other games across college football?
Well, I mean, let's stick them with the SEC. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Ole Miss and Auburn can both. I mean, LSU too. All three of those games. Listen, right now we know what we know, or we think we know what we know.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Like, I am going into this weekend fully expecting one of those to go not how I think it will. Just because it's college football, man. Is it really just going to go exactly like you think it is?
Baylor and Auburn in Atlanta. That's an interesting game, right there.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, listen. The last I saw DJ Lagway, I mean, it's funny enough, the last time I saw him in person, he beat Texas. But the last that we saw of him, he was a turnover-happy, not very good quarterback. He went as far as to say this offseason that he felt like he was in a straitjacket at Florida under Billy Napier, which heck of a way to phrase it. But, dude, with the talent that he has, you get the best version of DJ Lagway. I mean, I think DJ Durkin's defense, I trust them that they're going to severely limit him in that game. But what if Auburn's offense comes out of the gate slow and they're just not very good? A largely essentially built from South Florida offense. I like Byron Brown. I like some of the pieces they added, but I mean, it is all USF guys outside of Cobb, the running back. So, who knows? Neutral site game, who knows? Yeah. Again, like I told you guys, I just cannot picture a scenario where Clemson beats LSU, so I'll leave that one out. The Ole Miss Louisville game now, that one's interesting. But listen, we broke that one down today. Both these teams, I think what's interesting, both these teams have question at the tackle spots. And both these teams feature edge rushers that can change the football game. So, if Ole Miss, whichever team's tackles perform better, and I think whichever the two quarterbacks handles pressure better, which isn't some earth-shattering take, but I think both will have to deal with pressure to some capacity. Whoever handles that better, I think, they're going to put their team in a much better position to win. But, what if Trinidad Chambliss isn't that wizard that we saw a year ago? What if he looks a little more mortal, right, with guys breathing down his neck? What if Kawan Lacey's a step, just doesn't look quite what he did last year? How much different is it without Charlie Weiss Jr. calling the shots?
Yeah.
I think Louisville absolutely could beat Ole Miss. Now, I'm not picking it, but that's what I'm saying, guys. I mean, I'm picking the SEC to go undefeated this weekend. Do I think one of those games could go sideways? Sure. The rest of the slate, it's all about, do these teams cover? I mean, listen, somebody's – because it's football, somebody's going to struggle. We're going to get to Monday and some fan – I would almost bet you multiple. Some fan base is going to be disgruntled because they only won – they're going to have a Florida State type outing. Y'all watch that Florida State game in week 0?
Yeah.
Really ugly, sloppy, nothing – essentially nothing to feel good, or very little to feel good about, in a squeamish, 17-point win or
34-17.
Yeah, just doesn't make you, it's not a very inspiring victory. Could that happen? Yeah. That I almost guarantee you that will happen. There will be some teams that just don't play well. It's week 1. I am a firm believer that, teams make their – and, I mean, David, you would know this. Teams make their greatest strides from week 1 to week 2 when you can get shit on film, when you can clean things up. And, so they're, not everybody's going to win 56-0. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
I can't say I know every matchup. I don't know all 16 games.
I don't blame you, David. I don't blame you at all. I mean, listen, there's only 3 games there's only 2 games on this slate that feature a single-digit spread.
Wow.
I mean, we got. I mean, listen, I'm gonna watch it like it's a Super Bowl, But Thursday night, we got Missouri as I think, 56.5-point favorite against Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm like,
well, of course you're going to watch it.
That's real.
That's your team, man. Of course you're going to watch Missouri,
my team
man.
that I'm picking to go 5-7.
That's real, though. Pine Bluff, man. Like, yeah, that's a
PB,
realistic
man.
spread. I think.
Well, you know what's so funny about these? It's like Oklahoma, UTEP, for example. I mean, what constitutes success in that ball game? I don't think you can solely say like a score dictates.
No.
I mean, I guess you could look at it. Do we cover or do we not? But like,
I was talking to somebody about this very same question, and they posed that question: is, what does that look like for Oklahoma and a successful game? Me, number one, and this is coach talk again. No injuries, no significant injuries up, with your guys. 2, can our offense get out there and operate, score points, everything like that? And can we line up and run the football? That's, I think, the biggest question mark for Oklahoma is, can we line up and run the football against a team like UTEP? Because if we can't, there's bigger questions going into Ann Arbor the next week if we cannot line up and run the football against a team like UTEP. So
yeah,
I know
that is
coach's
a good
cliche talk, but that's kind of what I'm looking at.
I think that's very valid, and I think that will be what this weekend is about, is reading between the lines. I mean, listen, Texas has that very same question. I mean, here's the thing with Texas, like you saw last year. I was at the Ohio State game week 1, whatever, Matt Patricia masterclass. I picked Texas to lose that game. I wasn't surprised. But when they struggled in non-conference play the following weeks, you're right. I mean, if you're going out there, like if you beat UTEP or if Texas beats Texas State, but you run, or if Alabama beats East Carolina, pick any of these teams that couldn't run it last year. I don't care if you go out and win 49-0, but if you can only muster 84 rushing yards, boy, you are not going to feel good.
Well, and you mentioned the UTEP. What was it, 7-3 at halftime last year? UTEP, Texas.
Yeah, that is right. I almost forgot that. Yeah. So I mean,
that's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, you want to. These are games where I don't. Number one, it's even though we love to overreact, and I'll do it too. We all do. Like you try not to draw conclusions, and you also cannot only look at final scores. You have to read between the lines of these games and kind of see how did it happen and how did they look, and context will matter greatly. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I mean, dude, like I said, I'm just happy college football is back on TV. Yeah. I will watch Mizzou, Arkansas, Pine Bluff the same way I'll watch Oklahoma, UTEP, the same way I'll watch LSU, Clemson, and Ole Miss, Louisville. I'll be glued to all of them. Again, guys, I told y'all, I think it was off air, this is my first college football Saturday, regular season Saturday, at home, waking up, making some coffee, watching game day, watching games since 2023. So I will be ass glued to seat all day long, watching games, multiple screens.
Yeah, it sounds like a rough life right there.
I can only imagine. I mean, how eager you are.
And I'm not complaining about going to games because I love doing it, but I'm very excited to be locked into.
That's big time.
To all the action. I mean, we get our first look at all these new guys, new coaches, new quarterbacks. Great opportunity there.
Hey, I do have one question. A good friend of mine, Billy Anderson, a very loyal Arkansas Razorback fan. He said, what games, if any, do you think Arkansas might upset a team? Is Tulsa an underdog or over? I'm joking, man.
No, it's funny you say that because we were talking about this today, and Billy, right? You said I don't mean to be disrespectful when I ask this, but Arkansas is a 40.5-point favorite against North Alabama, which raises the question to me, how bad is North Alabama? I mean, first game of Ryan Silverfield, and they're a 40.5-point dog.
I would take North Alabama to cover.
I can't do that to my Hog buddies, man.
It's nothing against Arkansas. It's nothing against Arkansas. I know Ryan, and I've worked for Ryan, and I know I have family in Arkansas, diehard Hog fans. But I also know what North Alabama. I know quite a few guys on that staff, and I think they'll have those guys ready to play. Does that mean that they are in a 2-possession game? I'm not saying that, but I do think they'll cover.
David, I might have to add this to my best bets and actually attribute this to you. Be like,
Come
hey,
on.
if it loses, we know where to cite this source. But this sounds like a lock from what you're
We'll
telling
chop
me.
this and make it a reel
Bet
so
the
we can find
house
it. Yeah.
on North Alabama is what you're
Come
telling me.
on. Come on. Yeah,
I
and
will
then
say, if you want free money, Tennessee State plus 45.5 at Georgia is just, they're just giving away money because under Kirby Smart, Georgia, I believe the record is 0-18 when they are against the spread now. 0-18 when they are favorites of 38 points or more. They don't blow teams out like that, man. They'll go win this game. They'll go win this game 42-3. They will get out ahead, and then they will do what they always do best. They will suffocate Tennessee State for the rest of the game. But that's they don't want to go score 60. They don't want to go score 70. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But they're 0-18 when they're favored by 38 or more. I mean,
sounds like your lock. That's the lock right there for you, huh?
That's one of my best bets. I mean, I've got some sicko plays for sure. I've got the under in Missouri, Arkansas, Pine Bluff at 60.5. Just, you know why I took that under? I don't think Arkansas, Pine Bluff's going to score. So what I'm betting is, will Mizzou, without Ahmad Hardy, with a brand new quarterback, will they score less than 60? I think they will. I think they will score less than 60. It might be 56-0, but they are going to score less than 60.
60's a lot.
60's a lot. I agree. I did take LSU to cover 10.5 against Clemson. Auburn Baylor under. Now we're just going through my picks. Auburn Baylor under 58.5. I trust DJ Durkin's defense against each other.
Wait, say that. Hold on. Say that one again.
Auburn Baylor under 58.5.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I know
sure.
Alex Golish offense, but I just think both offenses are going to come out sluggish, and I think Auburn's defense is going to keep it a low-scoring game. I've got Bama covering 27.5. See, this is my Bama hype here. I got Bama beating ECU by 28 or more. I think Keelan Russell's going to have a hell of an opener. I do. I think they're going to want to build him confidence. They've got Kentucky week 2. They got to come out the gates fast.
The spread, hold on, you said the spread is 28.5?
27.5.
27.5.
So
what's the over under?
I can pull it up for you. I do not have it in front of me. Let's see. Alabama ECU total 52.5.
I just know that D coordinator at ECU is going to throw some looks. He is going to throw some looks at that young QB, man. And so his packages are impressive of what he's going to force that offensive line to see and protect. I'm not saying they aren't going to gash them. I'm not saying they're not going to win by 30, but I just know there's going to be some times that he's going to have his hands full. That's for sure.
I mean, Bama's got the same question that Oklahoma and Texas and so many others have. Can Bama run the football? But I think Ryan Coleman-Williams might go for 200. I mean, I think he's going to ball, dude. I think the passing game is going to just feast in that game.
It could easily happen, yeah.
And then I took Tennessee State, and then I took Ole Miss to cover 6.5 against Louisville. Again, one of those big 3 games, man. I will not be shocked at all if it goes the other way. I just will not be shocked at all. But
here's one thing I want to circle back to. That's some great stuff right there, man. Our guy Drew, our guy Cheddar Bob, our fantasy draft expert that comes on as a co-host guest for us. Man, he would love hearing those predictions right there and those
which
lines.
By the way, I didn't even mention this. We totally got off track because Billy Anderson asked which game Arkansas might upset a team. I've actually got Arkansas beating Tennessee.
Hey, there we go.
I got Arkansas beating Tennessee in my picks.
Okay.
There it is.
Some of it's history, man. Arkansas I was actually at the game in 24 when Taylon Green and the boys took down a top 5 Tennessee team. So
yeah. And I will say that is one thing that team can do, because it seems like they do it every year, regardless of who their coach is or who the team is or whatever, who they got. And Ryan he's definitely known to do that in his whole career at Memphis. Like he's just going to win some big games, have some upsets, but he's also going to lose some that you don't expect him to. So
a couple years ago they smacked Texas in the mouth, man. I'm like, holy cow, nobody saw that one coming. Like
Silverfield's just in such a tough situation for so many things that are beyond his control. one of my guys that used to work for us, Dave Shoemate, he had friends on that staff and recruiting, and I would just hear stories about support staff and so many things that the common fan doesn't think about that they were very much lacking behind in. So I don't know. I want to see Arkansas be good. They've got a great fan base.
They got a lot of great resources, a lot of money over there. Like
Walmart, Tyson Chicken. It's almost
JB
like they
Hunt.
have really
JB Hunt,
embraced. They've really embraced the idea of being a basketball baseball school. I mean, they've given John Calipari everything he could want.
Yep.
So
well, and here's another thing.
what-
I might piss some Arkansas fans off by saying this, but you can't call yourself a baseball school if you've never won a national championship. So, yeah, there you go.
Drew's just trying to get them riled up, man. I love it.
There you go. Stir it. I said it for a long time. I used to coach high school football.
we're not going to call Oklahoma a baseball school now, though, right? There's
No.
way.
Okay. I've never called Oklahoma a baseball school, but they always.
My question is, has baseball overtaken softball yet?
No, not quite.
How many more natties will it take for Skip and the boys to become the?
I mean,
the
if they
number
go
one
back to
show
back
on
this
the
year,
diamond?
if they go back to back this year, they'll be right there. With
Boy,
some talks,
the bar is
Yeah.
high. You got to go back.
It is
to
very,
back.
very high. Yep. It is
mean,
very, very high.
To
To even get in the conversation, I think you need to go back to back.
Not even the top show in town after winning a natty. That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, what Patty's done is literally.
I know.
unbelievable.
I'm not. I'm just picking.
He's
I
got
feel
that
for
big
Skip
old
and the
stick.
guys.
He's just stirring it up.
I feel for skipping the guys. I'm just happy they're investing in the ballpark. I'm happy to see that. But
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I want
that was
Arkansas
a
back.
magical
I want
moment.
Arkansas football to be good, man. It's when I was down there and they beat Tennessee, it was awesome. And that fan base, man, they have just been beaten to
Loyal.
a pulp.
They're very loyal.
They have been beaten to a pulp, man.
Oh,
Like that.
man,
That
so
is
true.
probably, if you had to power rank like the happiest to most miserable fan bases, I think you could realistically. Arkansas and South Carolina have got a real fight for it because South Carolina hadn't been good in anything. At least Arkansas had basketball. So, but I mean, they
got women's basketball. Don Staley, come on. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They invent heartbreaking.
He didn't
ways
jump
to
on
beat.
that train, Drew.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Hey,
He didn't
trying to
jump on
throw
that
something
one.
out there.
I mean, they do.
I know. Trust me, I know plenty. A lot of
They've got
Gamecock
a new
fans,
baseball
trust me.
coach too. They're pumped about
Yep.
that. They got a new baseball
Yep.
coach. They've won more recently in football than Arkansas. I mean, they were argued they could have been in the play. They should have been in the playoff 2 years ago. So, but
So,
yeah,
hold on. You did say that it was Tennessee to answer Billy's question.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
yeah.
Okay.
I think they'll get somebody. I do. I think they'll get somebody. I think what's interesting again, David. You talked about Ryan Silverfield, and you know him, and I think what's fascinating. We talk about John Summerall the way we do. We talk about Alex Golish the way we do. A lot of people dismiss Silverfield, and to the point to where even Arkansas fans, they felt like that was a really underwhelming hire. You got to kind of dig. You got to really look hard to find people who will have a lot of glowing reviews or positive things to say about the hire. But look at his record against those two guys. He beat the hell out of them. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting to me. He doesn't get the praise heaped on him the way those other two guys do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there is two sides of that story always, because a lot of people would counter with a lot of other arguments of what he did at Memphis too, in the sense he won a lot of games, but he took over a program in the first year that was in a conference title game playing Penn State in the Cotton Bowl and never once even made it back to the conference title game in the AAC, right? So that's where a lot of people think it's like he never even got a squad back there. That's where I see a lot of the the rumblings come from, is like if he couldn't even get them back to the title game in the AAC, then let alone win one, just to get to the game. So that's where I see a lot of the rumblings,
Well, and here's the thing about this, and I know this because I know Arkansas wanted Rhett Lashley. They wanted him bad. And I think when they got their feelings hurt because he said, you know what, I'm staying at SMU.
And do you
so
blame
they kind of
him?
No, I do not blame him at all. But
Like,
that was the
what?
thing, is that
Hell
Arkansas
no.
was like, what? You're telling us no? And then they had to go reload and figure it out. And so it was one of those things where well, we didn't get our guy. And I think it's bigger than the coach. I think they have an athletic director problem, but that's just me, when it comes to football. And like Chris said earlier, that I think they put a premium on basketball and baseball, and they've just kind of overlooked the sport that, brings them in the most money.
Yeah, Hunter Yurichek's a clown, man. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
You remember the 6'7" thing he did in the playoff show?
Yeah. It's just one of those things where.
Oh, man.
I'm
not saying nothing.
I don't know if Silverfield will be this guy, but I would love to see somebody get Arkansas back to like when they were in the Outback Bowl at the time with KJ Jefferson. I mean, I got a buddy that covers Arkansas that I like to quantify it over the course of a decade, which might even be too long at this point. But
yep.
I essentially asked, like, over the course of a decade, how many times realistically should Arkansas expect to go to the college football playoff? And his answer to me was 0. And I was like, God, he's just like, dude, that's just not who Arkansas football is.
Well, and I think that Billy said it very well, because he's a loyal Arkansas fans would be happy just going 8-4 every year.
Don't you feel like, though, it's a program that, like, making it once every 10 years wouldn't – I mean, which who knows in next year, but, I mean, who knows in 5 years, 10 years what the playoff format –
yeah.
I mean, 6-6 might get you in the playoff in a couple of years, but I don't know,
man. It's going to be an NCAA tournament. That's what that's going to be, So it's going to be crazy.
Truly. Truly.
All right, one more question for you, and then we'll get out of here. We've been rolling for about an hour. Put you on the spot right here. Who are you picking to win the SEC championship, and why?
I'm going with the Georgia Bulldogs. Pretty simple answer here. I trust Kirby Smart. I think, winning the SEC 3 years in a row is something that hasn't happened many times, but I just trust them the most. I look at that program and I look at that team and the head coach they're led by, and there's a lot of things to like about the football team. They have questions at wide receiver, sure, but it's not a talent question. It's just which of those guys from a crowded room will emerge and be the wide receiver one. I think they have plenty of answers to those questions. It's just about us seeing who it is. But I think Gunnar Stockton is one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks in the country. I think they're going to bully people in the trenches. I mean, you guys might have seen the graphics 2 or 3 years ago about Georgia's just mammoth-sized recruiting classes on the offensive line. These guys they were signing out of high school that were like 6'7", 6'8". Those guys are all playing and contributing now. So Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowens, I think they're going to run the football down people's throats. I think Mike Bobo is a much better OC than even Georgia fans want to admit. So I think they'll be really sound offensively, and then I think defensively this might be their best defense since 2022 at all 3 levels. I mean, it's just I think they're going to be significantly better getting after the quarterback in the worst season going. And then I go back to Kirby Smart, and it's a trust factor with Georgia, man. And also, too, guys, they have a schedule conducive to having a really big year. It was ranked 16th in the SP Plus rankings, however you want to, whatever that means to you. And I mean, I know an easy SEC schedule is still a tough schedule, but they have a very manageable schedule by SEC terms. And I mean, I think they get back to Atlanta, and I don't know if it's Texas they play or Oklahoma they play or Ole Miss they play or whoever, but I'll take the Georgia Bulldogs. I just trust Kirby Smart. I trust the program he's built. To me, it feels like the easy answer, honestly.
Yep. But it's well explained, and your reason behind it all. It's hard.
Somebody's got to knock them off and show me before I go against the grain.
It's hard to doubt. You can't doubt that, man. Everything you just said. So that's phenomenal. I can't disagree with that one bit. Not one bit. So, but Drew, hey, you might make a run.
Hey, we're beating them in Athens.
Say it for you,
man. We're going 8 we're starting out 8-0.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hey,
gonna win in Athens to start the year, and then just to get that bubble
that would be
burst
awesome.
all over. I mean, that's 3 out of the last 4. That would be hilarious. But anyway, I hope it doesn't happen. I really don't. I would love to see OU in it.
The one I most want to be wrong about is the Mizzou game. Please don't let Missouri keep you out of the playoff. That's all I'm saying. Don't let Missouri keep you out of the playoff.
That's true. That would be like an Arkansas type move right there.
Yeah, I will happily eat crow if we're in that scenario.
Oh, man.
I'm fine with the going 8-0 to start the season off, but I don't know about losing the last 4 out of 5 or whatever you said. But hey, we're here for it. Any final thoughts from you, DG, before we let our guests go?
Oh man, Chris, you the man. Man, we appreciate it big time. It's awesome hearing your takes, man. The lines, everything. The fact that you get to sit your ass down and watch ball this whole weekend is phenomenal. So, kudos to you for that, man. Jealous of that for sure. But again, thanks for being on the show. This was awesome, and man, best of luck to you in your travels this season.
Yeah, David, Drew, really
And-
appreciate y'all, man. Anytime. We'd love
Hey,
to do it again.
Tell the people where they can find you on social media, Twitter, all that good stuff.
Yeah, Drew, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, podcast, where you get that. And you can follow me at CPhilly19 on the socials. And we've got our football show, Chewing Clock, my own show, the Chris Phillips Show, SECT by Sierra Clark, as well. We'll be live. I mean, we're live essentially every single day, late Saturday nights, recapping all the action. So, yeah, just check us out wherever you get your content. You can find us there.
Absolutely. And the Glue guys, too, when it's college baseball season, man. Those guys are phenomenal. I love listening to you guys when it's college baseball season, too, as well. So a lot of great things going. Yes, Todd, I will see you in the stands. And no, I will not be wearing a sports bra. So, yeah, my good buddy Todd, we're sitting together. So, yeah, so that was a good one. But, guys, thank you so much for jumping on the channel with us tonight. We had over 370 of you guys live tonight with us. Please like, follow, subscribe. We were trying to grow this thing. We're having fun. We are keeping Bedlam alive. Okay, doing our best to keep Bedlam alive here.
I did, yeah. And
so,
I gave you way too much credit tonight keeping Bedlam alive. I gotta come back next episode with some shit.
So,
man.
Yeah, you got to come back with more, but we'll have some more
big year
stuff.
for Okie State. New era.
Yes.
Is it Morris? Eric Morris?
Eric Morris, man.
Hey,
we'll have to get you on again to get that take, man. That's for sure.
The North Texas, Oklahoma State
Cowboys.
The Oklahoma State Mean Green at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good one. Tulsa got to get over the hump early here to get them. You got them at Tulsa. So, but guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please, again, like, follow, subscribe to the channel, and help us grow this thing. And we'll see you again. Hey, college football back on this week. Full slate of games. We'll see you guys again on the next episode.